And here we are at SBI 2019 at the Lumin booth with Alex Bazhinov.
You got it.
All right, I'm so used to you pointing that at me, Jay.
Yeah,
so
you don't need
we
to
have
point
our
it
labs on. Super excited to meet you. Thanks for taking the time out of the first day. Exhibit hall floor just opened about half an hour ago, A lot of buzz here. A lot of it's about storage solutions, right? And then, but you've got a really amazing tech. We did a show with your guys about maybe 6 months, a year ago, and we were really interested to understand better what it is you're doing. So this is Lumin. Why don't you give us an introduction about yourself and then about your company a little bit, give us a sense of where you fit in the marketplace.
Absolutely. Yeah, and first of all, thank you guys for coming all the way from OE. It's a pleasure to meet you in person. And so I'm Alex Bazhinov, founder and CEO of Lumin. Founded the company a little bit over 3 years ago. We just had our birthday.
Rocket ship.
And I literally founded it off an idea that I got in a very dark basement where I was working with a customer of my previous company, and we were fixing their circuit breaker panel. And I was looking at it, it was a very old one, and I was like, oh my God, it's so old. How's that possible? And that's where the proverbial light bulb came off, because I thought, wait a second, every single circuit breaker panel out there is old. Even the new ones that you can buy at Home Depot today are old. Like nothing has changed in that
No major
device.
innovations.
Yeah, no
absolutely
major innovations. I think the last one was going from fuses to toggles and adding GFI breakers. But that's the heartbeat of energy consumption in every house. And the richness of data that you have there, inability to control energy consumption is really unmatched. That if you're looking for a place, that's the place. And so I set off to build our first prototype, and when I realized it can be done, Lumin was born. And so what Lumin does is it brings responsiveness to homes' energy consumption. And the way we do it is Lumin platform retrofits an existing circuit breaker panel and allows for data and control of energy consumption on each individual circuit. That's kind of the platform, and we'll talk more, I think, about energy storage later and what we do there.
So you're a homeowner, you have a panel, let's say it's a brand new panel, and then what actually is happening? Are you pulling out the breakers in that panel, or what are you replacing, what are you not replacing?
Yeah, so in fact, you are not almost not touching the panel when you install Lumin platform. So the way, if you look at it from an electrical standpoint of view, Lumin kind of intercepts electricity flow in between the circuit breaker. So you keep your circuit breaker, you keep your overcurrent protection device. It's very important that it stays there. Whatever you have, Schneider, Square D, Eaton, Cutler-Hammer, anything.
Sure.
And so Lumin intercepts that electricity in between the circuit breaker and your load, your appliance.
Okay, how does it intersect it?
So we, sorry for that.
No worries.
So we, I don't know if you can see, there's a hardware piece of the device. It's right there.
Yep.
It's a fairly small box, actually getting even further smaller, and it essentially has relays and sensors in there. And
So here we
go
are.
for it. And so it's installed next to a circuit breaker panel, and essentially electricity is flowing from your circuit breaker panel into this box, and from this box to your loads.
I gotcha. So you're rerouting everything into this, basically.
You are inserting this into the circuit, if you will.
Okay.
And it's really easy to do. It comes pre-wired with all the wires. The installation takes about 2 hours. Should be done by a licensed electrician, folks. For everyone out there, don't go into the electrical panel.
Right.
Don't touch the high voltage. Should be done by professionals. But yeah, 2 hours, this thing wires in and you're ready to go.
So all of those loads, let's say you have 20 circuit breakers, all of those loads are this is inserting itself in between that and the actual circuit breakers.
That is correct.
Right. Okay, so that offers, I suspect, some unique visibility into what's happening with those loads, and then potentially control, which seems like it's the game we're playing here, right? You're like pulling back the curtain, so to speak, on all of this, what has been opaque kind of like lack of understanding of what how does that particular device consume energy and how does that one consume energy. But now we're seeing it not only like get power at a given moment, but power over time, behavioral patterns, chronology. predictive stuff maybe? I mean, what's going on? What's the brains inside of this operation? What kind of work are you doing with it?
Yeah, so that's, what you just described is what we consider as the base level. So all that data on your energy consumption, your circuits, all that control in individual circuits, that's there, for the homeowner to use to see if you'd like to. But what's really unique about Lumin and what we do is the next level up. It's making your home responsive, making the energy automating reactions of your home to grid conditions. So maybe it's a grid outage and your storage is kicking in. So how do you want to manage your loads in that case, right? Do you want to keep everything on, or maybe you want to extend your runway on this based on the state of charge of your battery,
Sure,
and shut some things off? Like those smarts, that kind of intelligence is how we use that data in presenting to homeowners. The insights by the algorithm may find that, well, look, your washer and dryer pull they're vampire loads when you're not using them. Why don't you automate that and just create a schedule so the platform automatically turns things on and off and saves you money?
Okay, this is really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I got boatloads of questions for you. So, and I'm sure Jay's thinking, I can almost hear his brain cranking over there on the same questions. But let's say I'm a homeowner, and I have solar and storage, right? And then I'm thinking about, I don't have a critical loads panel though, right? And because I thought that was too expensive, because my installer said to me, hey, it's going to cost you $4,000
you have to tear
select
up
some
the
loads
house
and separate it
rewire
out.
everything.
So now
It's a nightmare.
I say Lumin is a good option for me, right? And that creates that kind of a value. So I suspect there may be have you looked at the financial conditions between those two approaches, doing a critical loads panel, the labor, the installation, and doing something like Lumin? Is this like a direct overt advantage financially? I mean, what does it do for you?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think that's where the main value proposition for Lumin, for people who do energy storage, that's right where we are. So, as you said, so if you're installing a storage system, quite often you have to go with protected loads panel.
Yeah.
And what that does for you is you can only back up a fixed number of loads, not your whole home. And that choice is fixed, right?
It's static
hardwired.
Yeah, once
Forever,
you've
right?
done the wiring, you're not
Yeah.
going to be rewiring your house
Bummer.
again.
Exactly.
Bummer.
You got to call
How
for
could that
electrician.
be?
And rewire that.
Electricians,
protected loads
anytime
panel.
an electrician comes to your house, it's expensive. It's a
Right.
truck roll, couple of hours
don't-
minimum, usually a couple $100 just to say hi, and then you're into whatever you actually got to do.
Yeah.
So what we tell to installers and what we hear back from them is, look, you don't have to do the protected loads panel. In fact, we're strong advocates for not doing a PLP or protected loads panel.
Absolutely.
Instead, what you should do is connect your storage to your main panel, connect your Lumin to your main panel. And the feedback we're getting is that Lumin saves them 30 to 50% of their install time. Because with protected loads panel, you're not just relocating the circuits. You're running your neutrals, you're running your feed wire into that panel. It's a lot of work, and I mean, everybody knows that one of the most difficult things for installers out there is this unpredictability, right? You never know what you run into until you pop off that
possible
cover
to model.
and you okay, now I'm actually running, higher than my budget was for this project. And guess what? My team cannot make it to the next project because they have to come here next morning.
Very tough.
In our case, it is super predictable. That's the main value prop for the installers.
Got it.
This is easy to wire, very predictable. You don't have to do protected loads panel.
Okay, so I want to jump right forward to the conversation about let's say that the installer's like, yep, this is the way you want to go. Homeowner selects it. Now they've got a Lumin panel. They've got their solar system installed, their storage. They're excited. How do they go about selecting those loads at a given moment? Is it something that is it software based? Do you get an email and say, hey, welcome to Lumin, or how does it work? What does it feel like?
So I'll grab this thing.
Let's do it.
We have a demo.
I don't know how well that's going to
but,
actually show, but we can grab some stuff later.
Sure, but you have, as a homeowner, you have this.
You can show me if you want.
No, actually take us through it.
Yeah, you can show me.
I just meant we'll get some close up. We'll get some
We'll
close
take
up.
screenshots later and throw it up.
Sure, so let me bring it to the native state.
So this is, hey Josh, this is your Lumin panel, and then from there, that's kind of what I'm most interested in understanding.
And so let me launch the app. But so you have an app where you can see all the data and you can manually control your circuits, as we talked in the beginning.
Yep.
Right. So you can go in and you can turn circuits on and off. In next one up, of course, it's a software demo. So
Is this something that happens?
I'll be showing you this on my phone. But then you have modes.
Yeah.
So let's say you have an off-grid mode, and what that does, it monitors. Okay, so you're in normal state of operations right now. Now, since this is a demo app,
Yep.
like this particular one, let me simulate the grid outage. Boom, and you can see the moment the platform senses that your grid is out, it shuts off your circuits.
Oh, I like the GUI there. I like the way it's set up.
Yeah, and the circuits that it shuts off are pretty much predetermined. So let me, and you can do so. So here's sorry.
Predetermined as it comes with a standard.
by the homeowner.
Okay.
So it's flexible. So here, sorry, that keeps jumping away from me. Of course, okay, so as a homeowner, you select the circuits that you want to be backed up,
Right.
and that you want to shed during the grid outage.
And that happens when you install your app on your phone
Yeah.
right away. So
Yes.
say, hi, this is your Lumin app.
Yes.
And then I want to have my garage door, my security system, and whatever
Yes.
backed up. And then boom, yeah, you're installed.
Yeah.
Is it that simple?
Yes, it's that simple. And then the best piece is, okay, now you're in the grid outage, okay, sucks, but it is what it is. Now all of a sudden you want, as you said, like that's a perfect use case, garage door.
Yeah.
Typically that's not something people back up.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you want to drive out, for a ride or something.
Oh, I didn't back up my garage door, but now I want it.
You go to the app and you say,
Ah.
oh, bring it back.
Look at that.
Yeah, and it's on. You use it.
Okay. I'm gonna just
And then shut it off again.
I just realized I just realized how dynamic this actually is, and it's even for a guy like me. And we talk about this stuff all the time. It really wasn't clear to me that I could set my critical loads effectively, or the ones that I want backed up. Let's call it that, with this
Yep.
Lumin system. Go through the circumstance of an outage, and in that moment, say to myself, with my storage and my solar, I want, you know what,
Well, that
I
was a
actually want this
mistake.
other one. And go into my app and
I'm
say,
stuck
I'm in my
outside.
car trying to get out of my garage. Garage door open on, right? And then boom, on, and then shut off again. Because I don't need it anymore.
Yeah. And then you can, essentially as you move throughout the house, hey, I'm cooking right now. Okay, well,
Get
here's your
outta
kitchen.
here.
But you know what?
It's too good.
We should kill your, bathroom and bedroom because you're not
Right.
there. But now, okay, you're done cooking. Well, let's move on to the next thing.
Right.
It's absolutely dynamic. You can think of it as a virtual protected loads panel in many ways.
Right.
That exists on your main panel, and you can use any circuit as long as your storage system, of course, allows, on the discharge capacity, as long as it allows to run those things. Because quite often, like AC is really hard to do just because the storage system doesn't have enough discharge capacity.
Gotcha.
Like, it's the physics of storage.
Yeah,
and, we can change
Okay,
it. Sorry,
so
keep
I
hitting
did this yesterday, no worries. So let me just ask you a couple basic technical questions. So we're assuming that the battery is directed right into that main panel, grid goes out, there's a transfer, the battery is now active. That's powering your Lumin system, the main battery that's assumed to be there.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then this system, does it allow you to, like, how are you communicating? Is there any communication right now between the battery manufacturers, there's a whole bunch of different ones, and then your system? Or is it something that the individual is really taking ownership of?
Yeah.
What's that relationship?
So, out of the box, the system is battery agnostic, meaning it would work with any battery starting from the best and the smartest batteries out there, all the way to a DIY car battery stack.
Lead acid, old school,
yes,
off-grid.
It doesn't really matter. That being said, the richness of the experience for the homeowner comes with more integrations with storage. So all the scenarios that we talked about, this virtual protected loads panel, they are absolutely legitimate for any battery system, as I said, with our system right off the box.
Yeah.
But for some battery manufacturers, we already have integrations. Like, for example, Sonnen, our systems talk to each other on the software level. And so that allows for better experience.
Absolutely.
Because all of a sudden you can learn what's the state of the charge of the battery. What does the homeowner prefer to do with that charge? Like, is he charging? Is he preserving for the future outage? All of that may influence your decisions on what loads to shed.
Yeah.
So we are working towards more and more partnerships. As I said, Sonnen is already out there. You can download the app if you have a Sonnen Ecolinks, and it works today. More to come, just in the near future, but that's kind of our path forward to add more and more partnerships.
So if you are a, let's say a PV company, I don't know, like a Panasonic, for example, and you're going into the energy storage business and you're launching these new products, there's a bunch of them out there nowadays.
Yep.
Yeah.
They really would be well served to come talk to you because you're creating a solution that that they could partner with, and you've got that opportunity out there.
Absolutely.
So I would definitely recommend that. Especially if you're a PV company and you're going, I want to get into the battery business, all those kind of challenges that the storage
If you're a
world's
PV
encountering.
company and you don't want to get into energy storage, you're kind of done at this point anyway.
Well, you're taking on a lot, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's a
So-
whole different market, and,
Yes.
and it's
you
maybe
can use-
uncomfortable for a lot of people.
And you could use a lot of help probably, and
Absolutely.
help in this area certainly creates a tremendous set of value.
Yeah.
So I can see that. Very good stuff. Any last words here? Anything? We can talk forever, I'm sure, but
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I wanna talk a little
mean,
about training.
I would love to talk
Training.
more. And you just mentioned for a PV company, like especially if you're just getting into that storage business, it's hard, and it's natural. It's a different product.
All
There's a
new
lot going
technology,
on
you've
with
never heard
wiring,
about it.
and there's all this added complexity of those conversations with homeowners.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, you can add a battery. It costs that much, and guess what? You can only back up 6 loads. Well, that's not gonna fly. The conversation of, hey, you can back up anything, not at once, but dynamically. As you move through your day, you pick which
just
circuits to
eases
pick
that
up.
conversation.
That eases
Yeah.
that conversation. That helps those installers, those guys in the field, to boost their revenue, because they spend the same amount of money on customer acquisition, going door to door. And all of a sudden, they can add revenue to each project by giving the battery that can cover pretty much the whole home. That's the real value add to their business. That's why we feel it's so important for them to partner. But down the road for us, and I think it's really important to understand, like we see this as, this is a battery or energy storage product today, but our vision truly is, to be at the grid edge and makes homes responsive to any grid conditions. So it's not just grid outages. Think about if you're a homeowner and you have strong preference to, towards clean energy. Well, it not only comes with your solar, obviously that's clean, but it also comes with the energy mix on the grid. And how do you want to pull that? Obviously, during peak times, it's kind of dirty. During non-peak times, it's more clean. Do you want to manage your consumption based off that? Or maybe you're in the dynamic pricing area, so you have time of use or demand charges.
Yep.
Well, do you want to manage your bill and manage your consumption based off your loads?
That's a twist.
And our system automates that for you.
So you could say in your app, you could say, hey, do you want to optimize for green energy?
Exactly.
Or do you want to optimize for best price
For
possible?
best price. And of course you have to tell it, well, my utility is such and such, and I'm in that area. But yes, from there, it does it for you. And it brings together all distributed energy resources. Your storage, your solar, your EV, if you have one, all of that together really, and matches it with the grid and kind of ties it all.
Let me ask you a question. I want to try to imagine what that might look like, because it's an interesting concept. You brought up 2 areas that I had never thought of before, so I gotta say I appreciate that. So one, this idea of optimizing for green energy. And folks, if you didn't get that right out of the gate, during the daytime energy curve, you get a lot of solar on. That's kind of the assumption.
Yep.
And energy tends to be cheaper then as well if you
Sure.
have dynamic pricing within the grid.
Yep.
And then if you during the peak time when you come home at the end of the day, the duck curve, out of the duck curve, everyone's using energy. A lot of the time, peaker plants are jamming energy
Yes.
in there. It's dirtier and it's more expensive. So that's kind of the
That's the
foundation
premise.
of what you were talking about. And the idea of optimizing for a green consciousness, or like I want to use as much green energy as possible, that means you'd probably be buying a lot of energy during the day, I guess, right?
Yep, sure.
In that circumstance, let's say you do that. Does that then talk to your HVAC system and say pre-cool the house? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Or
Or the EV charger or whatever else you have.
charger.
yeah, EV charger, or
Hey, don't forget to charge your car in the middle of the day.
Exactly, yeah, or shut it
the-
off when the sun's going down. I mean,
And
wait
typically,
until the next.
like the appliances you just mentioned, your HVAC and your EV
Hydra.
are the ones that people tend to think about, right? Because we all know like there's smart thermostats out there that you can integrate with, but think about everything else in your house. now being similar to a smart thermostat. So all the dumb appliances, all the dumb things, like starting from your water heater all the way to even your fridge really, that I wouldn't recommend to shut it off for 6 hours, but for 30 minutes, sure, why not?
I've heard of people doing that. You over chill the fridge and then shut
Absolutely.
it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't freeze it.
Oh, don't
Actually, your
even
freezer, you
overchill
can
it.
do that.
Like it keeps the temperature if you don't open the door. That's perfectly fine.
If you're going to be gone for work.
Yeah, or
entire day.
there are a lot of things. Vampire loads. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that's 10% of your energy consumption.
Yeah.
So is it out there hunting for vampire loads?
Yes.
Is it a vampire killer?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Well, in many ways, Vampire Slayer.
There you go. You have CTs on every circuit.
We use different technology actually.
Okay.
These are IP here. Look at that.
Yeah,
that was the IP face.
Right there.
That being said, we do have whole home CTs to give homeowners more data to show them, hey, your whole home is that. Here's the full disaggregation. And disaggregation in our case doesn't come from algorithms. It comes from raw data because we are sitting on individual circuits. So we already know.
Wait, desegregation.
Sorry, I apologize. I misspoke. It's not CTs per circuit, but you have data per circuit.
Yeah, you get
and
data
so you
per
know
circuit.
precisely what
but
you're
because
using and
we
where.
measure each individual circuit, it just
Right.
we measure it with different technology.
Understood. Okay.
Okay, hang on a second. So you're measuring data in each individual circuit.
Yes.
Are you hearing the song of the different devices? That kind of thing?
Absolutely.
And then from there, what's happening? I mean, you don't have to tell me the technology, but I mean, what's going? Are you saying, okay, on this circuit, I got a coffee maker, I got a toaster, I got my little kitchen thing, right? I got a microwave maybe,
Right.
and then it identifies the individual unique little bird song of those appliances, right? And then what basically happens?
Yeah, so I think there are kind of several layers here. So first one is whole home. And there are really great companies out there that do whole home data, whether through smart meter or just home energy monitor. And then using that kind of data, they try, by using certain algorithms, they try to disaggregate that data.
Okay.
And it's a good one to catch for...
Disaggregate, break it up.
break it up, yes.
Yeah.
And it's a good one to catch large things like ACs or maybe a water heater.
Generally
maybe
have
EV.
their own sockets
They're
anyway.
very
but
distinctive, but it doesn't really work for smaller stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
In our case, we get that data per each individual circuit already. Hence, we already know we don't need to disaggregate it by using algorithms.
So your focal point's smaller.
Yeah, much smaller.
Nice.
And from there, as you mentioned, you can go deeper, you can go into individual appliances. That being said, there's a big number of circuits in a house that are single appliance circuits. These are big loads that you care. Dryer, washer, dishwasher, EV, AC, water heater, oven. I can keep going down that list, and we already have that data. There's no need to clean it up because it's already there per circuit.
Yeah.
So that's what allows us to be that granular in managing energy consumption, because it's not only data, it's also control per that individual circuit, and allows us to be that intelligent about how you manage your storage, how you manage your preferences, how do you consume your power, whether it's dirty power, clean power, and so on.
So there's some kind of magic sauce in there, technology, that allows you to say, okay, we're going to grid outage in the case of this circumstance. We're going to shut down our hot water heater, our dryer, whatever, right? And then it interrupts that, and then you can turn it back on through software. So there's no.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So is it all software? Are there physical things happening?
Oh, absolutely. There are physical things happening for you in order to be able to turn off electricity. Well, there should be a physical disconnect,
close, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously, as I said, there are relays in that box that do the job. They're controlled by the software from your phone, from anywhere in the world. You can control your house while you're here in your house in Maui. Can you imagine that?
It is pretty exciting stuff. So a big future for Lumin, no doubt. And then I think that, like I said before, I think that companies would be well served to reach out to you and talk about how you can create a value for them. One thing that did occur to me while we were talking, in addition to the couple of things I learned here today, but is that these the language of the show for me, one of the big things, and Jay mentioned this, it's like storage showdown, right? Mm-hmm. So you have all these companies out there trying to bring in, they do PV, they do inverters, they do batteries, they're doing it under one umbrella, and they're trying to create a whole solution so it's less complicated, right? But this is a piece of the puzzle that, in the absence of this thought process, which I don't think any of these guys are really making. I haven't seen it yet. It's not going to create the solution they're trying to create, which is that simplicity inside of that umbrella.
Yeah.
They need the simplicity. So that would be well served to take this out. So I'm excited to try it out.
Absolutely. Where can folks find you?
So at the show, we're booth 7334.
Yep.
Come find us. Also online, website luminsmart.com, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube channel. Just look for Lumin, or in some cases Lumin Smart, because Lumin is not available in some cases.
It happens.
But that's our presence.
Awesome.
And yeah, we'd love to talk to folks. We'd love to talk to PV installers. We'd love to talk to energy storage folks. All of that.
Excellent. Right. Thanks for your time, Alex. Really do
Thank
appreciate it.
you guys for stopping by.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Have a good one.
Thanks.